Reuters had in their, Lisa's first article sheet and said that, one of the articles stated that the minimum wage ensures providing for themselves and ensures providing work for others, but it doesn't really ensure anything. It doesn't ensure that you will have a job, and it doesn't ensure any sort of type of standard of living compared to today's cost of living in various states. She quoted me as saying that we are now moved to white-collar jobs. However, I've not said that. We're still a blue-collar job society. It's just the industry has changed. Rather than from manufacturing, we've moved into a service-type industry. So it's still a blue-collar type of society. Our opponents keep saying that if we abolish the minimum wage, that rates are going to drop dramatically, and that's not what we're saying. We're saying that if you abolish the minimum wage, you're going to offer a competition in the market to actually drive those rates up. Using earlier, as I had said before, between McDonald's and Burger King, she even used the example of Forever 21 and H&M, that they offer higher wages. Why? Because they want better employees, better morale for their employees. So applicants are able to choose, well, do I want to work at Forever 21 and get paid this much, or would I prefer to work at H&M and work for this much? If the minimum wage was abolished, competition rates would make your pay actually higher. Would any of you work for $1? I think not. So if there were a company out there saying, hey, we're going to pay you $2 an hour because we can, because of no minimum wage, I don't think they're going to get very many applicants, if any at all. So that's going to force them to have to raise their rates in order to get employees. Looking at some statistics from the Census.gov and the Department of Labor. For the ages of 16 to 24 years working, this is paid per hour, not salaried or not self-employed. There are 14 million people working that are between the ages of 16 to 24 years. Out of that, only 2 million people are working for the minimum wage or less. For groups that are 25 years or older that are working paid by the hour, that's 58 million, and out of that, another 2 million are only paid the minimum wage. So when we're looking at the minimum wage, we're looking at a very insignificant amount, which accounts for about 5% of the working population. Again, I stand by saying that teenagers are a big portion of the minimum wage workers, that ranging from the ages of 16 to 19 years. A book, Principles of Microeconomics, which is a textbook that the University of Cal Poly Pomona uses, says that teenagers are often willing to accept lower wages in exchange for on-the-job training. Some of them are even willing to work as interns for no pay at all. So this just goes to show that a large portion of the working class are teenagers, and even if jobs wanted to offer lower pay, teenagers would be susceptible to accepting that, as they are already most of the working class, minimum wage working class, I'm sorry. Talking about the supply and demand, typically positions requiring little or no skill are often paid the minimum wage. So for workers that are more skilled, they can be compensated accordingly rather than having to accept the minimum wage because of an industry standard pay rate. Minimum wage does offer exploitation because it says, hey, we have to pay you this amount of money, we don't have to pay you anymore, and we can exploit you for as much work as we want possible and not have to offer you a pay increase and not have to pay you at the industry standard. Let's see here. She keeps saying that people don't, or being negative, I should say, keeps saying that the people don't have the power. But people do have the power. People would have the power to say, no, this is not an acceptable wage for me, you need to pay me more. And if not, they would choose not to work there, thus raising the pay rate for what is now minimum wage workers.